Percy's always like a horror film in the making. That's how you do your entrances. They're always kind of creepy.
Percy has lost the plot. Has
Yes,
really
I
lost the plot.
Yes.
But
Hello,
always-
everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Good introductions, and thank you all for tuning in. And would you believe it? This is the final episode for season 3 of Dear Future Grandkids. Thank you so much for all your support and for watching us. Like always, I'm Jien in Singapore. That's Percy in the Philippines, and that's Ange in Hong Kong. Now,
Wait a minute, Percy.
What?
Where? It's Percy
yeah.
in the Philippines, but where are you? Another new space, Percy.
Yeah, see, I keep moving around. No, we're actually we just finished filming a movie, so I'm still at the hotel. Everybody has most of the people have gone home. I just had to stay, wait for my results, and then go back home this afternoon when the hotel kicks us out.
Nice. So today, can we fairly say that your internet connection is going to be stable?
I hope so. Internet gods, please. Thank you very much.
Now, because it's the last season, I mean, we just decided to switch things around and maybe for the first time turn the attention on the 3 of us. So why don't we start the show by sharing something meaningful from work or from our travels, okay? So I'll start first very quickly. This is something very dear to me. And when I finished my gig at Disney Hong Kong in 2003, at the end of everything else from the Disney Channel, from Disney Buzz, after spending almost 6 years at Disney, I was given this nice Mickey trophy that says, "Jen, you'll always be our best presenter." But I think it doesn't do justice to Serena from Hong Kong, who I took over from Saturday Disney, and definitely doesn't do justice to Azura. But I think I was given this because there was no other presenters left in the room that day.
Oh, not true at all. Oh, that's brilliant. I'm so glad you still have that.
So I have it in my mental piece.
nice.
So thank you very much. I think definitely Ange was responsible for this. So this is the one item that I really treasure a lot from my work. A lot of good memories, and it's great to start my career with the mouse, Disney Channel, and then Disney Hong Kong.
Nice.
Nice.
So lovely.
That's really nice.
Perce, what about you? I know you're in a hotel room, but did you manage to have any item?
Well, stuff from work. Basically, since the start of the pandemic, when I started filming, I've been carrying this bag around everywhere, like literally everywhere when I'm filming. It's got my water bottle. It's got an umbrella because when you're filming, you never know when it rains. It's got way too much stuff that I actually don't need.
What's in there?
Yeah.
Got a towel. Got my checkbook because even as a director, I'm still a producer. So I've got my script there.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
but
I'll show you how I print my script. It's now I try to save paper.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but when I read it, it's like man.
Yeah, like the most of us now. But I need to ask you this question. You're direct Percy. Don't you have like 3 assistants with you carrying your bag, the script, water bottle, and someone holding your umbrella?
I wish I could get to that point, but I'm not at Gen Su level.
No. Wait.
Yeah.
I know.
When somebody has a Mickey statuette, that's what you get.
Oh, come on, you got loads of no. And you know why he doesn't have that? Because he's also the producer. He handles the budget. He's not going to spend money on that.
Yeah, he's making sure no one touches that checkbook, right?
Yeah.
I've got a bit of trivia, and sorry about this, but since the start of the pandemic, everybody has to do dual roles. So you're a PA, you're a gaffer. You also go on camera because we can't afford to bring too many people on set, right? So you wear multiple roles. And I've been trying to get myself a cameo, but as a producer and even as a director, I cannot give myself a cameo. Nobody wants to accept me as in a cameo.
Oh, Percy.
There was a doctor role, a lawyer role, a policeman role, and I got passed on.
I'm sorry, Percy, but you don't look like a doctor, a policeman, or a lawyer.
Yeah, sorry. I've been still wearing my jumper, so yeah.
That's why we got Dear Future Grandkids. You always have a role.
Yes, that's why I created my own show. That's go.
Yeah, exactly. Ange, so what's
Ange,
yours?
how about you?
I've got I as you know, I don't like clutter and I'm a real minimalist. So I actually buy very little things when I travel. I only buy food, but here's something that is special to me. Hang on, I'm just gonna get it.
Nice. Oh, hey, good morning to Kawaii Dana, Justin, Jezu, and Ilki.
Morning.
Ike. Morning.
Right.
Ike.
What's that?
What's
So,
that?
as you know, Bhutan is a country that holds a magical place in my heart. I've been there about 10 times, and it's just it's a landlocked country between China and India, and it's one of the most special places I've ever visited. So this is from a really cute, lovely museum called Simply Bhutan. And this was made, handcrafted, hand painted, handmade by Pema. Pema has cerebral palsy, and he can only operate and have control of his feet, basically his toes. And so he
Whoa.
crafted this and painted it with his toes, and you see him do it. And I asked him to sign it at the back for me, and I watched him sign it in a painstaking, very elaborate but very meticulous way. So watching him do it, and he's such a character, always has a smile. It just brings back special memories. So I very rarely buy anything at all from my travels, but I just had to get this, and I had to watch him lovingly sign it, and it means so much every time I see it. It really does bring a smile to my face. So yeah, very precious.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Very inspiring.
It is indeed.
And that's a little something about us. But more importantly, let's get to our guest for today. And she first starred in her very first commercial at the age of 4 for Magnolia ice cream. Now, smiling exaggeratedly through the brain freeze, she simply could not imagine that her 15 minutes of fame would last a lifetime. An industry go-to for acting and presenting, she was once an MTV Asia VJ, and her body of work includes talent search reality programs like Malaysian Idol and Anugerah Juara Lagu, the largest reality singing show in Malaysia. And off the silver screen, Cheryl has hosted a variety of events, including the opening of the 2017 Southeast Asian Games. And above all else, she is a mother of 2 little girls, Stella and Kate, and is married to Malaysian film producer, director, screenwriter of the hugely popular Malaysian English language comedy Kopitiam, and now hotelier Ng Ping Ho, or better known as Ping. So please welcome to the show, Cheryl Samad.
Hey.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Cheryl.
Hi. Oh my goodness,
Thank you
I am
for
so happy
joining
to be here.
You look
That's-
so sparky and awake this morning, Cheryl.
Yeah.
That's a $1 million smile.
What can I say? I'm an early riser. I get up at 6:30 every morning anyway. So
Oh.
you know, morning times are like my favorite times, really.
Oh, so you're a lark.
Yeah.
You know, some people are larks and some people are owls. And I guess you're a lark.
I'm a lark, I guess. Yes,
Oh.
yes. I just
Your
feel like if I wake
sunshine.
up a bit later, it's like a waste of a day. Yeah, I know. It's like I wake up at 8 o'clock. It's like, oh my god, it's so late. I'm gonna be like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, no, we wake up in the
Unfortunately,
morning.
I know what you mean these days.
It's having kids, right?
Yeah.
Cheryl, you have
Having
2 beautiful young daughters, but have you ever thought about
Thank
being a
you.
grandmother?
Oh, you know, watching my mom with the kids, I do think sometimes, how kind of a grandma would I be? You know, like these girls, you know, they're so scattered right now, but you know, are they going to make good mommies? And yeah, I do think about it sometimes. Oh my God, what is that?
There
That's
you go.
you.
That's you in the future as
As
a
a hot
grandmother.
grandmother.
Oh
Wow.
my God, I'm blonde. I'm blonde as a
You're-
grandma.
Yeah.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, you're
So you got
you're
bangs
proper.
there as well.
Yeah, you got
Yeah,
bangs.
you know what? I'm loving the bangs. Thank you. I love the bangs. I've been wondering how I look like with bangs.
Hey. Oh wow, Cheryl, you
Wow.
look really
Oh
cool as a grandma.
Nice.
Intellectual.
Oh my gosh, I look like my Auntie Angel. I really do.
Oh, that's so sweet.
That's nice. You know
Oh,
that
hilarious.
this part of the show has become, you know, what will you look like with dyed hair? I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, what will you look like when you're older? Because nobody seems to look, you know, older. They just look different with white hair. But
a
you're
lot
rocking
cooler,
it,
actually,
Cheryl.
yeah.
Yeah, you're rocking it.
Thank you. You've just inspired me.
Cheryl, I got a question for you. You know,
Yeah.
you had a long career in media. Did you always want to work in media? I heard you have a law degree.
Yeah, I do. I think the thing is when I started this when I was 4. I was really young when I started commercial.
Wow.
And it just kind of like slowly progressed to hosting when I was 16. And when I finished high school, I knew I had to go to uni anyway. I wanted to study, and I was always interested in doing law. So I did that, but I think it was also a very tiring part of my life, I would say, because I was moving from set to set, and I was going to college, and I was doing classes, and I was sitting for exams. But the very next day, I had to be on set at 8 o'clock. So it was just the kind of thing you would do when you're really, really young. You know, when you're young, you think, I have the energy to do it all. I'm going to do it. But looking back now, I thought, oh my God, that girl was crazy. You know, the way I used to live, no sleep, studying. I literally had, like, in my bag, it was like you, Perci, I had my script, and behind my script were my law notes, you know. So I'd be like, oh, where's my notes, you know. I'd be like, you know, it was such a crazy time, but I'm really glad I did it. You know, I learned so much from it. And I don't think I would make a very good lawyer. I was very into Ally McBeal. I'm like, you know, I'm gonna be Ally McBeal. I'm gonna be the crazy, quirky lawyer, you know.
With the dancing baby.
We got the song.
Yeah, with dancing babies, you know. Yeah, I love that, you know. Yes, but I don't regret it. I don't regret it. I think I just stuck with it, and I'm really glad I did, actually. And I'm really glad people like Jien, you know. I would otherwise never have, you know, been able to meet.
Unfortunately for you. Sorry
Unfortunately, exactly what
That's where your
everyone else
life
said.
changed.
Again.
Come on.
Cheryl, we have some quick fire questions for you now. In 3 words, describe yourself.
Describe myself right now. I would say I am loving, overstretched, but happy. I think.
Loving, stretched, and happy. Okay.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And where were you born?
I was born in KL. I was born in the heart of KL, so I've always been in KL. I went to uni in KL, you know, raising my family in KL. Yeah, I love it here.
Wow, city girl. And what's your star sign?
I'm an Aries. How about you?
Oh, Aries.
What is that? Are they the likable?
Yes.
You guys are the likable ones, right?
Yes, you're the high five.
Yeah.
Yes, you're very likable.
Yeah.
What
can
else
see
is an
why.
Aries? What else is the characteristics of an Aries?
Well, they say Aries are like immediately friendly. Usually, they can be quick-tempered, but they don't hold a grudge. I know. For me, I never. They have horns.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the slightest thing can trigger me. I'll be so angry at you, but the next minute I'm like, yeah, what was it that you did?
Yeah.
You know, like I forget.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Yeah. So that pretty much describes an Aries person.
Cheryl, you're my
Definitely
twin.
not like a Virgo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, not like a Virgo. Yes, I know a Virgo, not like a Virgo.
Cheryl, okay, how about has any teacher or any person changed the course of your life or changed the direction of your life, and how?
So I started hosting when I was 16, right? I did say, but it was just like a show, like it had cartoons and updates. But when I did MTV and I got this job for the first time, and I had to interview, you know, really big names for the very first time. And because I was so young, I was about 20, I think, I would write down the questions. I'll try to memorize the questions and go on set and try to interview people with the questions that I had memorized in my head. So after I did my first interview, I can't remember with whom now, the producer sat me down and she said, you know, obviously you're very good at memorizing. And then I was like, okay. And she's like, but when you interview people, it's not the questions, it's the conversation. You know, she's like, you're missing the point. You're not just asking questions, you're listening, you're talking, you're having conversation, you're being interested. So she said, you just have to pay attention. And I was like, what? And that just hit me like a ton of bricks. Like telling this story now, I'm getting goosebumps because suddenly I realized, oh my God, she's so right. I would never list down a list of questions in my head to talk to a friend, right? I mean, it will come naturally. Yeah. So that was the biggest takeaway I had from being an MTV VJ, and because all of my subsequent jobs were some kind of interview. I had some kind of guest on my show. I've always interviewed people on shows, so I've always remembered that be interested in the person, get to know the person. You know, forget about your questions. You know, just go with the flow. So that was the best lesson anyone has ever told me. Yeah.
I always say to people, you know, I mentor a lot of graduates, and they're always interviewing for jobs, and I always say to them, they go, "Oh, I haven't done enough to be interesting," and I say, to be interesting, be interested. That's the biggest tip I could ever give you. And they're like, oh,
Exactly.
got
Yeah.
it. Yeah. That's good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds like really good advice that you got early in your career, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
always a
Yes.
good thing.
I think that
Yes.
did
I just
set
wish
you on the
I had
right
told
path.
her. Yeah.
No, because I
Yes.
mean,
Yes. I've never got to tell her. Her name was Simone Skelchi. If you're out there, Simone, thank you.
Thanks,
I owe
Simone.
you so much. Thank you, Simone.
thanks, Simone. Okay, Cheryl, you mentioned you wake up at 6:30. I mean, if I wake up at 6:30, I'd still be in bed by 7:30 because I'm just staring at the ceiling. How about you? What gets you going in the morning?
So I have a lot to do in the morning, as you can imagine, because with home learning now, or even when the kids were in school, I have to get up. I'm always the first person up in the morning, all the time. So I just get up and then I'll normally I take a shower and I'll go down and I'll get my coffee because I feel that I cannot function without my coffee. And because me and my husband, we've been on this intermittent dieting for 2 years, so our normal routine is that I'll make this butter coffee, so this bulletproof coffee.
My brother,
It's supposed
my brother
it's
does
supposed
that.
yeah, it's supposed to last you until lunch. So that really keeps me going. And honestly, every single morning I wake up, I just look forward to that first cup of bulletproof coffee. I'm like, I need to have my coffee. Where's my blender at? Because I really need to blend the coffee. So I get that, and I want to hear the sound of the blender. I'm like, yes, I'm up. Put it in my flask, because it's got to keep hot, or else I'll just forget about it and then get the kids ready. So that's just my morning every day.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, you seem like a go-getter too, and you seem like nothing's facing you. But is there anything that you're afraid to do?
I am afraid to stay in the jungle. I have this big fear of animals. I'm so scared of animals. So when Ping, my husband, he used to go hiking in Mongolia and New Zealand, before he met me, he'd be like, let's go take the kids and camp in the rainforest. And I'm like, I'm not. Do you not know me but at all? I'm not going to do that. It scares me. When we go to resorts and there's a rainforest attached, he goes, let's go on a hike. And I'll do it because I know it makes him happy. I'll go. But I'm walking so fast, I'm just walking so fast. And he was like, oh, look. And I'm like, already. Let's get on with this trail.
So wait, my favorite spot in Singapore,
yes,
and Ange
that's-
knows
that's
this,
the
is
one
night
thing I'm so
safari. So would you go to something like that?
I've been on that.
A safari. You did that, so they're okay with being
Yeah,
in
I'll
a
go on. Night safari, I actually went because I think, Jien, you mentioned it to me once when we were doing Idol, and you were like, you go to Singapore, you got to go on the night safari. So I'm like, really? I'm okay. So I went. I went when I went to Singapore, and that was I felt really safe in the safety of the of
The car.
the carriage.
The tram.
The car, yeah. I just know that no one can come to me. I know I can see the animals, they're cute, and I can enjoy them without having to worry that they're going to be coming close to me. So yeah, I did that. That was fun.
So we know you like your creature comforts. You don't want to be around animals. But let's go back. Let's go back to maybe perhaps your childhood. What's your favorite TV show?
What now?
Of all time.
From your childhood, all time. What's your favorite TV show?
I think my favorite TV show of all time growing up, I watched a lot of MacGyver. If that makes any sense.
Oh, no.
Yes.
No.
I love MacGyver. Oh my God, I love MacGyver, and I used to watch. How did he do that? There's always the opening montage where he slides under the, the.
No.
What do you call it? Oh my gosh, my mind.
Not MacGyver.
When the shops are closing and you go.
Yeah.
You know what?
The shutters are coming down, and he goes, yeah.
The shutters. You do know what? I
Yeah.
actually tried that when I was a kid. I was in the shop. I was in the mall with my mom, right? And the shutters were coming down for one of the shops, and I just went, oh,
MacGyver.
Mom, I remember her face was like, what are you doing? And the door shut, and I'm like, I had to have my MacGyver moment. And I stood there thinking, oh, it's very dark now. What do I do? But oh my God, I used to love MacGyver. These days, I'm just watching I'm just watching like home shows, like home renovation shows, like
Oh, I love those.
House Hunters International. Oh my God, I love those things. And I'm like, why didn't she pick that house? Oh, you're making a mistake.
Not a passive watcher. It's like, oh,
Not a passive
No,
watcher, I see.
I'm like, oh my God, what is she thinking? The house is tiny. Like get the other one. I mean, silly things like that.
You should do those reaction videos on YouTube where you watch something and you're just
Oh yeah,
annotating. I think you'd be amazing at
you
that.
would be amazing.
Goggle box should be great.
I know.
Goggle box,
It gets
right?
too
Yeah.
personal.
It gets too personal.
So Cheryl, earlier you mentioned that you've presented your first show when you were 16, right? So that's the first time you're on TV, was presenting?
For presenting, yes.
Yeah, for
And,
presenting, yeah. And what show was that?
it was
And
the
how
first
did you
one.
feel the first time on TV?
So it was a show called the Marvelous Hour, and it was a show about Marvel cartoons and everything. I remember having to go for the audition for that because I was always doing commercials, and my agent at the time, this talent agency, she goes, "Why don't you try out this audition for a talk show? I think you can do it. You're always talking anyway." So I'm like, "Oh, okay." So yeah, that was her logic. So I was like, "Okay, I'll try it out." I remember at the time, my dad he was going through one of these phases, like this midlife crisis, where he had this big bike. It was like a Vulcan VN 800 classic, right? Yeah. He was like, "Put this helmet on. I'm taking you for auditions." And I had makeup on. I'm like, "Oh, are you sure, Daddy? It's like really far away." He's like, "Just put on your." I'm like, so I put my helmet on, and then when I arrived at this audition, looking sweaty, my hair was flat and my makeup melted. I remember this so well. I came in and I'm like, all the other girls were in like short black dresses, all poised and so pretty, and I just looked like, oh my God, I look like crap. And I'm thinking, I'm never going to get this job. But I sat there, and they gave me a script, and the script was so wordy, and I remember, I'm nervous how I'm going to remember all of this. And there was a guy who was accompanying his friend for audition. So this guy was like, he was accompanying his really good-looking friend. And and I thought, yeah, this good-looking guy is going to get it, and that good-looking girl is going to get it, because they were practicing together. He was like, "Hey, let's share the script, let's practice together." I'm like, I got no one to practice anything. Because who wants to come next to the sweaty girl, right?
Practice in your helmet. You can practice in your helmet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I know. And I was so sad in this audition room. And then his friend said, "You know what? You want to go over it with me?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, thanks." So we kind of went over it, and he was like, "Put the script down now. Put the script down." He said, "Just stop." He said, "It's about Marvel Comics. Come on, you know Spider-Man, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know Spider-Man." I said, "Just talk about Spider-Man lah. Whatever, just talk lah." I'm like, okay lah. So then when it was time to be paired up, everybody else had been paired up except for me. So this guy is Yusma. He was like, this guy said, "How about you just come in for audition with her?" He came in with me. It was so great. We both got the job. And this guy who came to accompany his friend, yeah, we got the job together, me and Yusma. And we did it for the next 4.5 years together. So it was just, and it was so awesome how it all happened. And
what did his friend? No, but what did his friend? Who what about the hot guy? What did he think?
The hot guy did not get the job, right? I
exactly.
Think
so what did the hot guy?
He probably tried to memorize the script, Ange.
And he's still memorizing it till today.
Yeah, but the point is, his friend was supposed to be supporting him, helping him pass the audition. Then he walks in, gets the job, gets the girl. 4.5 years later, what is going through his mind?
4.5 years later,
I
don't know. He must have.
He's thinking, I need a helmet like that.
or the next audition, don't bring a friend.
Don't bring
a friend.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's how it started. Yeah, that's how it all started.
Excellent.
My goodness, Cheryl, you have so many hilarious stories. I mean, and people think showbiz is glamorous and showbiz is all, but there's just so many happy accidents and good twists of fate and funny stories behind the scenes. And now we all know.
Exactly. Happy accidents, exactly.
I love it. Now, from stories, we want to see stuff. So we're going to give you a few seconds now to go and get maybe 2 items from your work or your career or your travels that have some special meaning for you that you could go and show us. Is there anything you could bring?
Okay.
Great.
Okay, give me a second.
Cool.
Yep. No problem.
Hey.
She's got the best stories, Cheryl.
I know. I was thinking, Cheryl so glamorous, so gorgeous, and I now have this vision of MacGyver sliding underneath the shutters.
Oh, she's MacGyver. She's MacGyver.
Yeah, action star you are.
Yeah.
Action
I'm an
star.
action star.
Yeah.
What do you have
What have
for
we
us?
got? Yeah.
Okay, I have this. Can you see
What
this
is-
very big seashell here?
Oh,
Oh.
it's really
So this
unusually
was-
shaped.
Yeah,
like a
I know.
coral,
So
yeah,
this was actually from our last family holiday together. We just went to Langkawi, which is an island in Malaysia, on the northern part of Malaysia. We did that when the numbers were just like 20, like double digit last year. Last year at the same time it was really low, so we took the chance to go to the beach. And this came from Stella. Stella's my biggest, my eldest girl. Her father had made her go kayaking because he has this notion of he wants his kids to be tough and rough, right? Forgetting that his daughters are super girly, kind of traumatized me. So he was like, I'm just gonna take Stella for kayak, just like up in just by the shore. And it's very close. I'm like, yeah, okay. I was like, are you sure? I said, don't try to go to that island there. I see what you're doing. I know what you want to do. You want to bring her to that island. I was like, don't do that. I said, no, she's not gonna be happy. And he was like, no, she'll be fine. I won't do that. So I go into the room to get something. I come out and they're completely out of sight. It's like a dot far, far away. And I'm like, what is he doing? And I can't spot my child. I'm like, oh no, where is she? I can't spot her. But he had taken her. And I start freaking out because I'm like panic galore, right? So I get the guy. I was like, come. Can you lend me a binoculars? I want to see where my child is. And then he was like, yeah. They just landed on that little island. I was like, damn you, Ping. You are gonna be And it was a hot day.
On the comments on Facebook, we have Stella. We have your daughters giving us live comments on Facebook.
Yeah.
No, are you kidding? She's in her grandparents.
She's watching.
Yeah.
Hi, Stella.
I think she's using your
Hi,
mom's.
Stella.
Hi, Kate.
Catherine Samad. She's using your mom's account, I think.
So,
my
your mom
daughter's
is watching.
giving comments nonstop. She loves giving comments.
Let's wait for it then.
She's funny. So she went on this, and then she found this. But later on, when she came back, I remember I had gotten like this coconut waiting for her because it was a hot day, and this girl comes up from the kayak like completely zombified, right? She was like that. She was burned and like, and I was like, I just shoved the coconut and I was like, drink this, right? She drinks it, and then she had lunch and she was like falling asleep on her foot. She was so exhausted. And I'm like, what did you do to our child? Look at her. He was like, I thought you would be okay. And she didn't want to drink because she was scared she would pee on this island, right? But when she came back, she was really proud. She was like zombified, but she was holding this in her hand. And I was like, what's that? And she was like, I got this from the island. And I was like, Stella, that's so pretty. She goes, yeah, I got it. And my daddy took a picture with me in it, holding it, and I want to keep it. But right now, you can have it, mommy. I don't really want to look at it.
She's traumatized.
By the whole experience. So I just keep it as a reminder. I keep it as a reminder to my husband to to say, just listen to me. I'm always right.
This is
I love it.
Whenever he doesn't agree with me, I'm like,
this started out as a really warm, cozy family story. The last holiday you had in Maui, and it ended with this signifies just listen to me because I'm always right.
Yeah. To be honest,
lesson.
that's the lawyer in you. You just managed to win your case at the end.
Yeah, I know.
You turned an anecdote into an argument
with evidence.
with evidence.
Evidence, yes. I have hard evidence, tangible evidence.
Fantastic. Cheryl, so here on Dear Future Grandkids, have you got any more items or that's it?
I want to show you one last thing.
Yes,
You mentioned you went to Bhutan. I went to Bhutan too once for my honeymoon.
Oh, for your honeymoon.
Oh, nice.
We went there for our honeymoon, and it was a very last minute thing because we suddenly had time. We had suddenly had 2 weeks free, and we decided to go to Bhutan. And I at the resort that in the hotel I was staying in, every night they'll put something in our pillow, and this is a crane. And when we walked into Gangte, we went up to Gangte, which is up on the mountain, this resort. And when we were walking in, the the guide was saying you might see cranes in season, but they're very, very rare.
Yes.
And if you're very lucky, you might see them, because some people don't see them for months, right? So if you see them, it means that it will bring you great luck, and So I was thinking, knowing me, I'm not going to see these cranes for sure, right? But the moment we walked into the lobby, and it's like a big glass window, like a whole bunch of cranes just flew by.
No.
It was so amazing. I was just stood there and I was completely stunned. I just stared at the guy and I was like, were those the cranes that you meant? And he was like, everybody was stunned because no one had spotted these cranes for months. So I just felt so lucky to be in that moment, to be able to see them, and so they gave this to me later on, just to remind us that, how lucky we were to be on the journey and how lucky we were
that's
to see
beautiful.
those things. Yeah, that was really nice.
You're
That's a
some
great
people are
story.
rainmakers, you're a crane maker.
Oh, Percy, I love
Percy.
it there.
Oh,
And of course my
Percy.
camera flip. There you go.
Oh,
I'm a crane
that was
Yeah.
that
Sweet,
was
Percy.
That was sad. Okay, thank you very much.
that's like a dad
That was
dad
Yeah,
joke, Percy.
I'm back again next week.
I'm sorry about that,
Oh
Cheryl.
my
I need to
goodness.
apologize for Percy.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No. I love it.
So Cheryl, we're gonna move things a bit and to tell you about the essence of the show, because here in Dear Future Grandkids, I mean, we like to nosy around people's house, and we want to find out if there's any part of your house that you could be embarrassed about. I mean, you do have kids, so do you have a corner of shame, an embarrassing drawer, something you don't usually show your guests?
Jen, I have multiple corners of shame. In this house.
We have time.
Yep, we have time.
I will show you one, but do you guys mind going downstairs with me?
Oh, I'd love
Yeah,
to.
no.
We would love
to.
to.
Nosy around.
Please, we
Okay,
would love to.
okay.
That's what we live for.
Yeah, we're nosy.
Guys,
I
you guys
love
are
a
hilarious.
tour of a house.
Oh my goodness.
wow.
This is everyone comes into the house and they'll be like, oh my god, your house is so put together, you have 2 kids. And I'm like, little did you know the mess that happens in the house, like if you had any idea. Right? So it's just so crazy. So we have this console under our TV, and
Okay.
it's here, and it's this. Can you see it? This
Yeah.
cupboard
Okay. Yeah.
here.
It's so neat.
It's so neat.
got
There's
neat.
nothing on
Okay.
it.
It just looks like a regular cupboard, right?
Yeah.
You open the cupboard, and it's like stashes of toys, dead toys.
Those are dead toys.
Like,
Dead toys.
there is a
Oh,
dead
so that's
toy.
where they
And it's
go.
just like,
Oh,
mess. You know
that's
what?
a
That's where
drawer
they-
of shame.
That's
Do you know how many times these drawers have broken? During the whole of the MCO last year, like a whole cupboard door was like completely smashed in because there was just too many things crammed in, right? Too many things crammed in. I was like, I can't take it anymore. So every time now, like people try to tell me, like, why don't you all boxes, label them? I'm like, please, I don't have the time and energy to do that. I'm just going to like stuff it into the cupboard. Thank you very much. This works for me right now.
Oh, I love
Bri-
that.
brilliant. It serves the purpose.
Right.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, you
Yeah.
need a
Rather
big
neat.
drawer where you can just put, when someone quickly comes to visit and you're caught, you need that big drawer in your living room, right?
Yeah.
You just shove all your rubbish and then put it away.
I do. And I have a lot of rubbish. I have a lot of rubbish in this house.
Yeah.
We declutter
I wish I had a big drawer to put sometimes my children in there.
Jen.
Nice.
But you know what? I actually do the same on my laptop when I'm presenting. I actually have this folder that I create shortly before, because you think that my laptop is clean with all of this stuff, right? But of course, like everybody's laptop, your desktop is cluttered with everything, like everything that you drag, right? So before you present, it's like create a folder, drag everything there. So it looks neat.
Hide it
then-
all, yeah.
Hide it all in
get
one
it.
folder. Yeah, that's what I do. So it's a
Yes.
virtual
I
version of
know,
what
it's
you
like-
do.
I am a clean and organized person.
On the outside.
On
Neat
the
outside.
outside.
Don't open any drawers. That's all.
Please, yes. I actually say that to my guests. Don't feel free to open any of my drawers.
House rule number 1.
At your
I'll
own
do that.
risk. I warn
At your own
you.
risk.
You
It was
can't
so
handle the
crazy. Hold on,
truth.
I think. I seem to have lost one of my headphones. Okay, never mind. Yeah. So that's why I tell them all the time.
It's okay,
It's in
Cheryl.
the
It's live.
drawer.
Just go look
in
for
the
it. Don't worry
drawer.
about it.
It's in the drawer.
Yeah, I saw one of the toys climb out and take it.
I don't know where it is.
We are live, folks. We are live.
We
Oh my
are
goodness.
live.
Never
Go
mind.
find it.
Never mind.
Don't worry. Go find it. It's
No,
okay.
go on,
Yeah.
go and find it. We'll read out some comments. We'll.
Yeah, don't worry.
yeah,
Go
go
find
on.
it.
Okay. I really don't know where it is right now.
Hi, guys.
Unless you dropped it on the way up or something like maybe.
Maybe. I just suddenly feel like, oh no, everyone's so quieter.
I
well,
love the show.
this-
It's definitely live.
Definitely.
This is typical me dropping something and then not being able to find it. No, well, never mind. I can hear you from 1 year.
I love it.
It's me.
I love this.
I love this episode. I just love this episode.
Oh my goodness.
All right. Cheryl, I think I have an idea already what you're going to say to the next part, but this is the part of the show where we ask you if you have a pointless skill, because you pretty much do everything already in entertainment. You're a lawyer, but is there anything that's pointless that you're not quite proud of, but you want to show us?
I took up a course a few years ago to do this. It's very silly, but I will show you.
I love the look of him, sheer embarrassment. on
Yeah,
Cheryl's
right, like-
face.
So wait, you paid to do this, yeah? You paid.
What
I
is that?
paid. It's
What is that?
macrame.
Macro
It's
what?
macrame.
Oh,
It's macrame for plants. So you see, you take this cloth, the strings, and then you weave it together. So these are for potted plants. So then you hang up the plants in this macrame. So you see, there's 3 strings here.
Oh.
They're
then you
different
put the
designs,
pot
right?
in there.
You put the pot in here, and then so the idea is so that your house looks very boho chic.
So,
Quick follow-up question. Yeah, have you used it? Has any plants lived there?
Well, I gifted it, right? So there was one event that I did for my dad, post surgery. I wanted to celebrate him. I got all his friends to come, so I made all of this for all of these ladies, and I put plants in them, and I hung it up so when they came in, they could take it back as gifts, right?
Oh.
And they
nice.
loved it. They were like, "Oh, so cute, so charming. My mother used to make this." And I'm like, "Oh." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm really cool like that."
You're really cool in the 1950s. Yeah.
What made you?
I'm really,
what made you do
if this
this?
was 50 years ago, yeah. But then when I gave it to my friends who came over for Christmas, they were like, "You made this? Wow!" It was just like a different reaction. They were like, "That's so sweet. We love the plant."
What are you supposed to do with this?
Thanks. So I just make. So now I have 3 at home, and it's just good for like when I need to concentrate on something, or I just need to get my mind off. I just do it. It takes about an hour to do one. I find it really fun, but not everybody wants it, so I can't always gift it. But it was a skill that I had. It's a skill that I have, and now you guys know because nobody else does.
Cheryl,
Now the world knows.
I have an
Another
admission. I have something that I have to confess. I know how to make that. We were taught that in school.
No.
I didn't know what it
In
was called
school?
because I was not listening. Yeah, it's that thing where you do the square knot thing, right?
Yes,
you've got-
square
yeah.
knot.
Yep.
Percy, you speak my language.
Yes, I swear, we're twins. We're twins. You and I,
We
both
really
Aries.
are. We're like this, you and I. Yeah.
MacGyver, Yeah.
And should we just
And
both
macrame.
sign out now and just leave them alone to talk about macrames and plants?
Please.
and-
The world cannot handle the two of us together in just one frame.
I don't.
I just can't believe that both of you. Well, Percy, why would a school think it's really important that you make knotted squares out of pieces of string? And then Cheryl, of all the things, to do during difficult year, you were like, I want to learn how to, tie pieces of string together and
to
then
put plants.
to put plants in. What was
Square
your-
knot.
I
what was going through
really
your
don't know.
mind?
This is a very long course. Okay, it took like 6 hours for me to learn this. And
You know what, Cheryl? I think it was my former
weekend.
teacher that taught you. Probably. It's my former
Maybe.
teacher. Must be.
Could be. Could be.
Oh, you guys.
You guys.
I will make
You
each.
guys.
I'll make each of you one day.
Oh, wow. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll send you our address.
Just say the
somehow.
word, guys.
Thank you.
Will do.
I don't know. Quickly, move on to the next segment. Quickly, move on to the
Okay,
next
okay.
segment.
Let's go.
No, Cheryl, we're now going to talk about your childhood. We talk about your family as well. And what's the one childhood memory that that you remember that has set you up for life?
I would have to say that when I was younger, I was a tomboy, right? I was really a true blue tomboy. All my friends were boys, and I would cycle around neighborhood with these naughty boys. We would go into drains. We would climb trees. But what we really like to do was to climb the trees, right? So I had this vision of a tree house, right? Punky Brewster. Okay, I'm sorry, super old school. Young people who are watching this show will not
Punky
understand these
Brewster.
references.
Yes.
Yeah, you won't understand these references, but it's Punky Brewster, and I wanted a tree house, right? I also wanted a pogo stick, but that was another story. So then we, I tried, I tried to build this tree house, right? I put planks. Me and this neighbor girl, every day we'll go and try to find wood, and so we try to fix it, until one day I fell from this tree, and how it happened was there was this man who would come in the morning. He used to sell vegetables and fish. Okay, so he would come to all of the houses, it's super old school, and he would honk, and all the houses have to come out to buy this vegetable and fish.
Yeah.
So my mom didn't know that I was already outside. I was about 4 or 5 maybe. So I was climbing on the tree, right, fixing. And then when she came out, I kind of stopped. Because I don't want her to catch me, right? So I just stood there, I was frozen. I'm like, oh no. And she's right underneath. I'm like, oh my God, please don't look up, right? Because my mom is quite terrifying, right? So then, and then I slipped and thought I'm going to fall into this fish, right? But when I slipped, instead of falling, I got caught by a branch. So this is true, guys. I was literally hanging by my shorts like that. Screaming, right?
No.
Looking at my mom, thinking, please don't look up, right? Like fearing for my life, not from falling, but for my mom, right? So then this guy, he looks up, he sees me dangling, and I go, and then he looks at my mom and says, Catherine, I think your daughter is on the tree above us. So she was like, what? Your daughter is dangling from the tree. Then she looks up and she sees me, right, and her face, her face was like, oh. She was so enraged. But before that, but before they could grab me, I actually did fall from this tree. So my mom was so upset. The guy left. She and me and this other girl were on the tree. Our mothers came in the middle. They were talking very heatedly. They left. Then they came back and they both carried axes. Until today, I have no idea where my mom got the axe from. I have no idea where this woman got the axe from, right? But she had an axe. She came up with an axe, and I'm like, is that an axe? She came out with an axe. And the neighbor lady came up with this giant knife, and they started chopping up the tree. Furiously. In their house coats, right? In their house coats, just after buying fish, they were like, boom. They were so angry. And me and this other girl, we stood there, we were like, they think they can stop us, right? We were like, no way. We were just like, and then the tree came down and they were like, don't climb the tree anymore. Teach this is a lesson. Listen to your mother. And then she left, right? So we stood together there and we were like, okay, our tree is gone. What do we do now? And then my friend asked me, what do we do now? And I was like, let's go find another tree. And that's exactly what we did. We got on our bicycles and we found another tree and we started climbing that tree and started trying to build another tree house. So for me, I always remember that very strongly in my mind because as such a young child, that just taught me that if you want to get something done, don't let anything get in your way. Just do it. Not even your mother holding an axe can stop you from doing what you want to do.
Not even your mother holding a very deadly weapon.
A very deadly weapon. I know.
Literally got rid of the problem, chopped the tree down, but didn't stop
She got
you.
rid of the problem. She thought she was nipping it in the bud, but then off I went into another street, found another tree to climb on and build another house. So that is a story I love telling because I just remember it like it was yesterday.
Wow.
It's so vivid. Would you
It's
do
an
the same,
incredible
Cheryl?
story.
Would you do the
Sorry,
same
sorry.
now that you have daughters? If
Would
you
I do
go,
the same?
yeah, if you go under a tree and suddenly find your daughter dangling on top of you, would you
You know,
cut down the
Percy,
tree?
in all honesty, I think I have become the mother that my mother was. So I was
There you go.
Ah,
That's why I had to ask it. I figured that's going to be the answer.
You know,
You
we're
would
so
do the
different. My husband
same.
would be like, let's talk about this, and I'll be like, no way, bring me the axe, this is going down.
And bring up the shell again. Okay, remember this shell?
Yeah,
Give me the axe.
yeah.
Give me
I'll
the
be
axe.
like, remember this, honey?
Give me the axe. Give me the axe.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing because your mum sounds kick ass, if you ask me.
She is. She's kick-ass. My mom is the strongest woman I know. She is amazing.
Oh, that's great. And what's a piece of life advice that your folks most often give you, or that's stood out in your memory?
I think for me, my parents are both very different people, and they raised us both very strictly but very affectionately. I was brought up in a very loving household. My mom always taught me to, when you're going to college and you meet a whole new set of friends and everyone's trying to be cool and everyone's trying to like try out, new accents. Do you know what I mean? Suddenly you're a teenager and you have no identity and you just try to be something you're not. So I come back from school one day and I'm trying to be cooler than I really am, right? And my mom was like, "Stop it! What are you doing? You sound ridiculous. You sound so, like don't do that." And she was like, you're trying to. What was her favorite phrase? Keep up with the Joneses. She was like, don't do that. She's like, don't do that. She's like, just be yourself. She said, because it's exhausting trying to be something you're not.
Wow, that's great advice. So she said, Cheryl, are you trying to be a man? Cheryl, are you trying to be American? Cheryl, are you trying to be MacGyver?
And she's not letting that MacGyver link go.
So bad.
She was like,
None of
I
us
know.
are.
She was like, are you trying to be I know, this hero white man. But then I thought, she was right. So I always remembered that. My dad, on the other hand, when I started college, and actually really when I was trying everything out that was new to me, he always made it very clear to me that I had to finish what I started. So if I wanted to do a course in whatever, he was like, great, you want to do this? Okay, you can start this, but finish what you started. If I say I want to be in TV, I want to do hosting, he was like, okay, but it's hard work. If you want to do it, you're 16, it's going to be difficult. You have school, do it. Don't complain about it. Just work hard at it and be good at it. So that's why I always told myself that when I'm going to start something, don't start something unless I know I'll be able to finish it and see it through.
That's really great advice.
That's great.
Yeah.
And it's evident in the macrame.
Sadly.
It's evident in the macrame. You see? Yeah. Like, this is pointless, but I'm going to finish it anyway.
Yeah. I'm not gonna stop until it holds the pot. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
stop
exactly.
until it holds the
I'm
pot.
going to continue.
Daddy told me. Daddy told me.
Daddy told me. My daddy told me.
Cheryl, how about your daughters? Let's talk about your daughters. What do you most value about your daughters?
What I most value, I think I've always known since I was very young that I wanted to be a mom. But I've always wanted to be a mom. So and I think it was a very conscious decision for me to step back from the industry when I became a mom. So when I had children, it was very clear to the both of us that I would be the one at home to raise the children, because I wanted to have that kind of connection with my kids that my mom had with us. So with the children, what I value about the children is that, they just really make me realize that, we've always known the importance of family, but even more so now, it also made me realize that how much, how valid my parents' worries were about me growing up. When you were a kid, you worry about everything. When you started driving or you want to move out and you're worrying, you're like, what are they so worried about all the time? But when you have a child, you're like, yeah, I get it now. I get everything now. I understand everything suddenly. And they are just such a joy. That these kids, they are like they're the sweetest girls. They're so sweet.
Look at them.
And they,
Wow.
I mean, of course, they have their moments. They can be super annoying. I love you, Stella, if you're watching. But they're really, really sweet. Like sometimes at 3 o'clock, they know I'm tired, and then they'll come like, Mommy, do you want your coffee? And I was like, yeah. I said, yeah, do you want to make Mommy coffee? And they know how to work the machine. And then they were like, don't come to the table, making you a surprise. And then when I come back, they had laid everything out on like a nice placemat with a folded cold napkin with a little flower and my favorite biscuit in a nice plate. And I'm like, oh, so sweet. They really are the sweetest girls. Yeah.
Oh,
Lovely.
That's really cute. And your cousin Alicia is watching too. Alicia Wong, shout out.
Oh, hi, Cheryl, you're watching?
Got the whole Samad family gathered around.
Oh my goodness. Hi, thank you for watching. Oh my God, these are very busy people. Thank you.
Yeah, they're all going to check out your TV drawer. You know that when they come over next time.
Yeah.
They're coming over soon, and we were like, oh,
To tidy up,
this is where you
yeah.
hide your stuff.
Cheryl, do you have a phone nearby? Because we've come to the part of the show where we want you to leave a meaningful voice message to someone special in your life. So grab your phone.
Oh, okay. A voice message?
Yeah.
Just a voice message
to
to
anyone?
someone. Maybe someone
Yes.
you don't often say meaningful things to, but actually you probably should or want to.
Okay.
So it's
Okay.
an actual voicemail, yeah.
Okay.
voice
I'm going to
message.
send a voice message. Okay. Hi, kid. I really, really miss you. I think about you all the time, and when I see photos of you cycling up in the mountains, and I feel so left out because we used to do everything together. But I can't wait for you to come back to like spend time with you and to talk like silly nonsense and share life stories with you when you get back. I miss you so much. I love you. Bye.
Oh,
Yeah.
how sweet.
Who? I don't know. Who's that?
That
Can you
was my best friend. My best friend Kit. He had moved away to Canada. He works for an oil company, so he got shipped up to like this place called Kitimat, the mountains of Canada. And I haven't seen him for years. And there was one point in our life where we would see each other every single day,
Wow.
and we would share. And he was probably the person who was closest to me at one point in my life, and who knew everything that was going on in my life. And I really shared with him because he was a person who never judged, and who was just so true and so loyal. And he was also one of my bridesmaids when I got married. I have 3 best friends. They're all boys. So if I think bridesmaids, I have bridesmaids.
Oh, great.
Nice.
Brilliant. I love
Yeah,
that.
so
That is brilliant.
I had my bridesmaids. Yeah, I had my boys. I love my boys. They're like my brothers. And Kid is one of them, and he's away, so we don't get to see him anymore. I really miss him.
Oh,
Sweet.
that's nice. I'm sure he will definitely appreciate the message.
Oh yeah,
let's-
yeah. He might cry. He's a crier.
Oh, I want to cry. I want to
I wanna
cry.
cry.
It's so sweet.
Let's talk about some of your work as well, and who is the best co-host you've ever worked with in your professional career? I mean,
Jen.
The
Who's the lamest, worst co-host
Hey!
ever?
I'm asking
Okay.
Cheryl a question here, and give it a rest. Give it a rest.
Who
Okay.
wrote the script?
Okay.
Who wrote the script?
Exactly. Find the script writer.
Honestly, and truly, when I've worked with a lot of co-hosts, right? And before I answer the question, I just want to say that Jen, you were a wonderful co-host, because I joined in Idol in the 2nd season, and I really didn't know anything. I came in like not knowing how it worked. I didn't know.
Look at you
what
guys.
was gonna happen. I know. Look how young we
That's
were.
us.
Jen. You look
I
really lovely.
know. That's
Oh, wow.
Daniel, the winner of season 2, and that's Cheryl, myself.
That was
Look at us,
Daniel, the
Cheryl.
winner.
2005. Wow.
I remember this like it was yesterday, and I remember Jien, Ange, Perci. He was always so gracious and so
He is.
kind, and
He is.
and he's so welcoming that I never felt that I was left behind in anything. So he just made me feel like I was always there from the very beginning, and I really, really, really appreciated that. Always did, Jien. You're amazing. You know that.
You're so kind. You're so kind, and that I'm even gonna say that I love macrame now. No, I need to jump in. The thing about Cheryl is she is obviously very talented and good at her work, but she's also really kind of nice to everyone. So from the contestants to the crew and the producers, directors, and she's also a consummate professional. So that means if you've ever had a chance to work with her, it's really a fantastic experience, and I'm sure that everyone's
Oh.
worked with you before will say the same thing, because that's it, right?
Thank you.
Because
That's so
sometimes you work
kind.
with different co-hosts, they'll go, oh, I want to have more lines, or I want to have the same number of lines, or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's about putting a good show out there and also having a nice working
Exactly.
environment. Yeah. And I just wanted to put that
Exactly.
picture out on purpose.
I love that picture.
Because we look good there.
Why
so
not?
it's all good. Yeah.
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
30,000 people watching the stadium and like millions in Teddy, so why not?
Why not?
And
I know, Jen.
yeah. You have
That
nice
was a really
hair,
good
actually, Jen. In
experience.
that, you had good hair in that photo.
Oh,
Jen.
shut up, Ange. You just sound like Sarah.
just said you had good
Hate my hair. I
just
always
said
have the worst haircut, she says.
Really, your
Let-
hair is okay. Oh, it's okay. What your hair?
Let's not talk about 20-year-old hair.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man. Well,
But I
Cheryl,
did.
no.
Yes, Perci?
You're gonna
No,
say
go ahead,
something about
Cheryl.
hair?
No, I was gonna say that I did this other show called Music for like good 9 years, and my first 2 years I was alone, and on my third year they decided to pair me up with this guy who was up and coming DJ. His name was Faisal Ismail, and since then, I mean, we became very close. I mean, we are really good friends to this day. But it was just like exactly like Jien said, like what makes the best partnership is actually just having that respect for each other and looking at the bigger picture, which is we are doing this to have a really good show. It's not about how much I say, how much you say, what jokes you throw out, what jokes I throw out. It's not about that. It's about the end game and how we make this production a success. So I think in that sense, all of the best co-hosts I've worked with always had, we were always on the same wavelength, and that's why the shows that we worked on were a success.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cheryl, I was just gonna ask, because you've achieved, you've become a lawyer, you saw through presenting, as your father said, and then you achieved your goal to become a mother, because you said you always wanted to be one. Do you feel that you've achieved most of your goals already, or there's a lot more that you want to do?
I think if I could work harder on anything at all, it will probably be given the chance to really go back into into my business. I mean, we have this little cafe, Ting and I. It's called Local, spelled LOKL. We kind of started that when we first got married, because it was always a dream of things to have a cafe. It kind of like dragged me into it, like literally. Like, hey, you want to open a cafe? And I'm like, not really.
Oh, rhetorical question. I forgot about that.
Yes, exactly. It was like, yeah, so I got the space for a cafe. I'm like, what? Thanks for telling me. But working on the business with him, it was really fun. There was just we just got married. We had lots of energy, and we both didn't know anything about it, but we learned from scratch. So I think that was a really, really fun, interesting time. Before we had Stella, when we had children. And so if I were given any chance at all, maybe when the kids are older, to just learn more about it. I've never run my own business before, and I've never really got a chance to run my business. I was mostly on ground. I never did the back stuff. So maybe just to be, I don't know, just learn the ropes of how to run one properly.
I can see
nice.
that. I can see that happening in
Yeah.
the future.
Yeah.
I think it'll be great. I really do.
I hope so.
And as we think about legacy, because that's something that the show is all about, is there how have you ever thought how you'd like to be remembered?
Oh, I've never thought about that. I think if I were to get up, you know what? It doesn't really matter to me if anybody else remembers me. I just want my kids to remember me, actually. And I think if anything at all, I just want them to remember me as someone who was a good mom to them, and someone who really gave them enough love and confidence for them to go out into the real world and to try out to be whatever it is that they want to be. And if I manage to do that, and if they come out as good human beings, I would imagine that I had struck the lottery.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
lovely.
really.
That's lovely. Cheryl, I mean, I can't believe it. Time just has passed so fast, and we've come to the end of the show. I can't believe it. I know, so fast. I know. But
I
hey,
could hang out all day with you, Cheryl. You
Yeah,
have so
exactly.
many
I
Me
know.
too. Me
It's
stories.
so
too.
much fun.
Exactly. So thank you so much for hanging out with us. And before we say goodbye and before we close this lid on this video time capsule, you get to leave one message for your dear future grandkids. What would you like to say to them?
Oh, my grandkids. To my grandkids, dear future grandkids, this is your grandma Cheryl talking to you. And if you can believe it, there was a time where you didn't have to go out wearing a face mask, where you could go anywhere at any time you wanted, where you could, just hug your friend or family members when you see them. There was a time like that. So if you live in a time now and things are better and things are freer, I would just encourage you, honey, go out there, go see the world, explore the world, be brave. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do something. And also, just appreciate the people who love you in your life. That's it.
Wonderful words.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And find another tree, right, Cheryl? Find another tree.
Find,
Yeah.
find if
That's
if
right.
if a tree doesn't suit you, find another tree. There's always another tree.
There's always
Chop
another
one.
tree.
Your mom can chop one down, but just find another.
Just
Yeah.
find another.
Cheryl,
Thank you so much for having me, guys. This has been a blast. Thank you so much.
No.
It's
thank
been
you.
great.
Thank you. You've become our new best friend, Ange and I. I think when we see each other, we'll be screaming like, "Oh, Cheryl!" It's like as if we saw each other before.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's what happens, Cheryl. They meet people that I know, and then they all become friends, and then I just get left out as per usual. So yeah.
Yeah.
I won't leave you out, Jen. I won't leave you.
It's okay. Thanks, Cheryl. You're the only one that cares, not these two.
I do.
But thank you very much, Cheryl, for joining us today. It was really
Thank
inspiring.
you.
All the stories that you
Thank you
shared.
so much. You guys have a great
Alright.
weekend.
Thanks, Cheryl.
Thank you. See you, Cheryl.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
Cheryl. Thank
Thanks,
you so
Cheryl.
much.
Oh man,
Oh,
I
Cheryl's
love her.
brilliant.
She's great, isn't
I
she?
love
She's great.
her. I
Yeah.
absolutely love her.
The stories are
Yeah.
great, and she's just such a strong person. And yeah, she's always been a tomboy. She's just all rough and tumble, and yeah, she's got an interesting journey and a wonderful family now. So it's fantastic.
And you guys have
Yeah.
stayed in touch this whole time, have you? Or did you have a gap?
No, we weren't in touch for a long time, but then again, through social media, we follow each other, and then sometimes we just put some comments about our kids and things like that. So yeah, so
No, but
it's
you
good
know
to
what?
reconnect. It's the show that helps me reconnect as well. It's fantastic.
True. I love that about Dear Future Grandkids. It's,
Yeah,
it's the
actually-
people, right? And the depth
Yeah.
of the conversation. I love that too. Yeah.
And the inspiring things. I mean, these are people like for you, Jen. You've known Cheryl for a while, but I'm sure there was stuff that she said that would surprise even you, because these things don't turn up in our conversations. Over
Yeah.
drinks. Nobody's gonna go, "Oh, my dad taught me that when you do something, you see it through." It's like that doesn't come out
Yeah.
naturally when you're drinking and just joking around.
Yeah.
But here, you realize you see the learnings that even friends you've known for a long time have accumulated through the years, and you learn from them. And then I think that's the magic of the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. You're
That's
right.
I really enjoy that. I end up quoting from our guests throughout the week, and then people will ask me, "Oh, who have you got coming on Saturday?" And it's been the best thing. It's been the best thing about the show, I think. All the life lessons that I can take away from it, and all the stories and all the mottos.
No, you see, I actually have an admission, because all of us, it's been a crazy year for
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
We finished our third. What season is this? Third season.
Yeah, third season, 24 episodes.
24
24
episodes, right? I mean, and things have become very busy for us. For you, and you went through. Was it season 2 when you were,
Yeah,
doing,
swamped.
Yeah,
I was
really
working
swamped.
till 4 a.m. in the morning, 6 a.m. in the morning on this really intensive job for 2 months. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Jen, you with a new job, and then me with the shoots that we've been doing through. So to be honest, during the week, Monday to Friday, I'm sure we all feel the same. It's like, oh God, we have to do Dear Future Grandkids on Saturday. It's like, oh, there's one more thing to do. Oh wow! But when the show starts, seriously, when the show starts, all of that is forgotten.
Yeah.
It's re-energizing,
It is.
and I think it's, for me personally, it's what I need. It's really what I need.
Yeah.
It's to hear somebody say these things,
Yeah.
from their experience.
Yeah, I
You're
agree.
absolutely
Yeah,
right.
to me, so I always do yoga in the morning. So it's always a dash for me to get back for Dear Future Grandkids. And I always think yoga's for my body, and then Dear Future Grandkids is for my mind. That's what my Saturday mornings are now. I have something that stretches my muscles, and then I have something that stretches my mind, and it's just the perfect start to my weekend. I go off to the weekend super high, super happy, feeling inspired and ready to do it all again.
Yeah. How about you, Jen? You're
I
not
mean,
feeling it because you've got a new job and it's been really crazy for you.
It's really stressful. I know.
Yeah,
yeah,
actually, guys, I'm really busy now.
yeah. Look, look, guys, are we done? I want to go now. No, I mean the new job is busy and it's fantastic and all, but I mean it's still always after work, put some time in for Dear Future Grandkids if it's my turn to write the scripts and then look for guests and produce everything else, and also, to be honest, I look forward to the Saturday. I don't ever go, oh, it's Saturday, it's the show, I wish I'm not doing it, because it's always fun to connect with you guys, and it's also fun to reconnect with old friends I haven't seen, but also with different guests and people that I've only met once and get to know them. So absolutely, I love it. I genuinely love it, and I think it's brought us closer together too. But it's
Yeah.
also it's something that I actually look forward to. I think it's also meaningful, and even if no one watches it, it's something that I love and I enjoy. I enjoy the whole process. Obviously, it's great that people actually watch it, and if they can have and learn lessons from this, even better. But exactly like that, and even now, looking at all the comments coming here, it's just people are still watching. It's just we had a guest and three of us
Yeah,
talking. This is great. So
yeah.
what a way to end season 3, right? I mean, yeah, Pers. I mean, you want to do some of the comments that
Shout
we have?
outs, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, just want to say thank you to all the people watching. We have a group of people. I mean, we really are surprised that you tune in every Saturday to see the three of us. Why, right? But you've become our friend now. So thank you very much, Kawai Dana, Sar Girl, Robert Thea. Who's in North Carolina? Roel in
Yeah.
North Carolina.
Okay.
You got a lot of regulars and a lot of new viewers as well. So thank you for tuning in, and the people who stumble upon the show when they're surfing on YouTube or on Facebook, and suddenly the show with who are these three people turn up? Who are these three older people talking about their future grandkids with font that looks like it's a children's show? What are they thinking? Anyway, but
It's
you want thank you for sticking around and giving it a chance.
Yeah, and check out the podcast if you have time. We do some more shout outs to everyone on the podcast too. So and it's a good listen. The podcast, it's really different. And
Yeah, I
I'd
agree.
like to thank Nia, our wonderful Nia, who edits the podcast. Sorry, Nia, there's always so much editing to do afterwards for us. But I always listen to the podcast, and it's just really cute. It's just really inspiring once I listen to the podcast afterwards. It's just lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And also, yeah.
Christian as well.
Yeah.
And
Thank you,
Christian,
Christian, for being the secret hero of Dear
he's
Future
the
Grandkids.
secret hero behind the scenes who's always making things happen. And he's super cool and calm no matter what happens with the internet. Thank you, Christian.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Christian. And of course, thank you to you all for watching. And thank you to our fantastic guests. We had 24 of you. We will definitely be back with season 4. We're just going to take a break. And once again, this has been Dear Future Grandkids. I'm Jen. That's Percy. And that's Ange. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in a few weeks. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.